John here, Autograph Freshman, and welcome to another episode of Remember That Show, where I dive deep into our past, pulling out a TV show that we may remember very fondly. This one is one that I really loved as a kid, and it is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, also known as Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles, is an American animated television series produced by Fred Wolf Films and based on the comic book characters created by Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird. Set in New York City, the series follows the adventures of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and their allies as they battle Shredder, Krang, and numerous other villains and criminals. The property was changed considerably from the darker tone comics to make it more suitable for children and families. The pilot was shown during the week of December 28, 1987, as a 5-part miniseries, and the show began its full-time run October 1st, 1988, and ended November 2nd, 1996. The show was the first television appearance of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and helped launch the characters into mainstream popularity, becoming one of the most popular animated series in television history. Action figures, breakfast cereals, plush toys, and other merchandise featuring the characters appeared on the market during the late 80s and early 90s, and becoming top sellers worldwide. By 1990, the series was beginning to show daily on more than 125 TV stations. Characters from the show have been included in crossovers with later entries of the franchise, including the 2009 film Turtles Forever and recurring roles in the 2012 TV series for Nickelodeon. The origin story in the 1987 television series is much different from the original Mirage Studios comics. In this version, Splinter was a firmly human and honorable ninja master named Hamato Yoshi, who studies art history as a hobby. He was banished from the Foot Clan after one of his power-hungry and sadistic Ochosaki set him up for an offense against a visiting master sensei. Disgraced, Yoshi was forced to leave his native Japan and relocate to New York City, where he began living in the sewers with the rats as his only friends. Saki was given command of the Foot Clan, which he corrupted and transformed into a criminal organization. Sometime later, Yoshi adopted 4 turtles after they were accidentally dropped into the sewers by an unnamed boy. He returned from exploring around New York City one day to find the turtles covered with a strange glowing ooze. This substance caused the turtles, who were most recently exposed to Yoshi, to become humanoid, while Yoshi, who was most recently exposed to sewer rats, became a humanoid rat, and was given the name Splinter by the turtles. Yoshi raises the 4 turtles as his sons, training them in the art of ninjutsu. He names them Donatello, Leonardo, Michelangelo, and Raphael after his favorite Italian Renaissance artists. Suki eventually leaves Japan and tracks Yoshi to New York City, where he intends to destroy him once and for all. It is also around this time when he begins working with Krang. Krang is a disembodied alien brain from Dimension X who ruled his native realm with an iron fist until he was stripped of his body and banished to Earth. Suki takes a new personality, Shredder, donning a suit covered with razor spikes and complemented with a long purple cape, a metal samurai helmet, and a metal mask over his mouth. Since leaving Japan, his ambitions have grown from leadership of the Foot Clan to world domination. To this end, Krang provides the Shredder with a vast array of powerful technology from Dimension X, including the Technodrome, and funds most of his schemes throughout the series. It became clear early on in the series that the Mutant, which transformed the Turtles and Splinter into their new forms, was dumped into the sewers by Shredder in an effort to murder Yoshi, as he had mistakenly believed it to be a deadly poison rather than a transformation agent. After several years of training under Splinter, the Turtles set out to find whoever is responsible for the transformation, and upon learning that Shredder was behind it, they vowed to put an end to his ongoing criminal career and restore Splinter to his human form. Along the way, they rescue and befriend Channel 6 news reporter April O'Neil, who becomes one of their strongest allies. The Turtles, who had rarely left the sewers prior to meeting April, also began to take on the role of semi-vigilante crime fighters. Despite this, they frequently have to deal with citizens misunderstanding them, largely to the efforts of Channel 6 newsmen Bruce Thompson and Vern Finkwell, who both distrust the Turtles and frequently and wrongfully blame them for the trouble that Shredder and Krang cause. As a result, they mainly have to rely on April to inform them of the crimes in the city and counteract Bruce and Vernon's smear and bad-tempered campaigns against them with her own news coverage of the Turtles, portraying them as a force of good. Reluctant to expose themselves to the outside world, the Turtles at first wear disguises whenever they leave the sewers. Although this is slowly relaxed as the series progresses, and they gain the trust of the border population, whom they have saved from Shredder and other villains on many occasions. Shredder, Krang, Bebop, Rocksteady, Baxter Strowman, and other legions of foot soldiers repeatedly try to destroy the Turtles and take over the world. Much of their quest for world domination hinges on repowering Krang's mobile fortress, the Technodrome, and bring it to the Earth's surface, as it was either buried deep under New York City, stuck in Dimension X, enabled in Earth's core, stranded in the Arctic, or at the bottom of the Arctic Ocean. They couldn't keep that one consistent. However, their plans always failed, often landing the villains in humorous predicaments. Some episodes feature minor villains such as Rat King, Leatherhead, Slash, General Thag, and many others, or involve the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles getting themselves and the city out of a mess that they had caused. Season 7 features a vacation in Europe side season that took place during the 4th season, where the Turtles, April, and Splinter were on a vacation in Europe and ended up fighting Shredder, Krang, and other villains across Europe. In the last 3 seasons, the show went through big changes. The humor was toned down significantly, the animation became darker, the color of the sky each episode was changed to a continuous, ominous, dark red sky. The theme song was changed, the introduction sequence added clips from their first live-action film, and the show took a darker, more action-oriented atmosphere reminiscent to the original comics. The Turtles' demeanor evolved into a more serious and determined one of the prior seasons, and they devoted most of their time to tracking down villains. The series' main villains, Shredder, Krang, Bebop, and Rocksteady, who had previously been seen as dangerous but comically inept villains, were now seen as more menacing, unified threat. Additionally, Krang was revealed to have seized power in Dimension X through numerous betrayals and widespread destruction, resulting in old enemies seeking vengeance. Many recurring characters and villains were written out of the show by this point, with the focus placed on the main cast. Eighth season was also noted for the destruction of Channel 6 building, which led to April working freelance. At the end of season 7, the Turtles sent the Technodrome through a portal into Dimension X, but without Shredder, Krang, Bebop, and Rocksteady. As a result, the villains were stranded on Earth without any weapons or power and were forced to work out of an old science building until they could find a way back into Dimension X to retrieve the Technodrome. The Turtles, taking advantage of the situation, pursue their arch enemies reluctantly in an effort to put an end to their schemes once and for all. Eventually, Shredder and Krang, along with Bebop and Rocksteady, build a new portal into Dimension X and reclaim the Technodrome, although the Turtles manage to track them down with the help of Gargan, a mutated resident of Dimension X who is being held prisoner by Shredder and Krang. At the end of Season 8, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles finally banish Shredder, Krang, Bebop, and Rocksteady to Dimension X by destroying the Technodrome's engines and trans-dimensional portal, preventing them from returning to Earth. From Season 9 onwards, Lord Dreg, an evil alien warlord from Dimension X, appeared as a new lead villain. He begins a propaganda campaign against the Turtles, turning the general population against them and in favor of him and his forces. Although Dreg is outed as a villain at the end of Season 9, the Turtles were never able to regain the trust of the broader population due to an earlier smear campaign by Byrne and Vernon, who wrongfully blamed the Turtles for the destruction of Channel 6 building. Additionally, the Turtles began to suffer from secondary mutations that temporarily transformed them into monstrous hulks with a smaller intelligence, a problem that would not be completely resolved until Season 10. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles also gain a new ally in the form of Carter, a brash African-American male who first sought out Master Splinter for training in Zinju, but is eventually exposed to a mutagen and contracts an incurable mutant disease. In the final season of the series, Dreg's psychopathic henchman Mug encounters Shredder and Krang, who are still in Dimension X. They told him that they had battled the Turtles for years, but even though Shredder claimed to have destroyed them, Monk knew that he was lying. Soon afterwards, Monk returns to Dreg's ship and informs him of their encounter, and Dreg decides to bring Shredder and Krang back from Dimension X to help them fight the Turtles. However, the pair immediately rebel against Dreg and leave, continuing on where they left off before they were banished at the end of Season 8. Back on Earth, Shredder and Krang kidnaps April O'Neil and do battles with the Turtles once more. Although they are all soon transported back to Dreg's lair, The turtles intentionally have the upper hand in the fight, but Shredder and Krang are able to subdue them after reluctantly agree to work with Drag. As he prepares to drain the turtles of their life energies, Shredder and Krang betray Lord Drag and force him onto one of the operating tables, intending to drain both him and the turtles of their power. Drag is able to escape and uses his microbots to capture Shredder and Krang. Although he successfully drains the turtles and Krang of their life energies, the Shredder breaks free before Drag is able to take anything from him. The Shredder spends the next 2 episodes finding a way to heal Krang and dispose of Drag, so that they may take control of his armies and conquer the Earth. But in the ensuing confirmation, they are permanently transported back to Dimension X. Carter also bids farewell to the Turtles as he travels to the future to look for a cure for his mutation. In the final episode, Michelangelo and Donatello travel to Dimension X to retrieve Krang's mechanical body from the Technodrome, which is sitting on a hill standing upright, suggesting that Shredder and Krang tried to repair the Technodrome before declaring it a lost cause. Shredder, Krang, Bebop, and Rocksteady are nowhere to be seen. The Turtles eventually find Krang's suit and use it in a final confrontation with Drag, which ends with the Turtles banishing Drag to Dimension X. Splinter congratulates the Turtles on their victory, and now that all their enemies have been vanquished, states that he has nothing more to teach them, calling them his equals. In 2009, the Turtles, Shredder, Krang, and various other characters from the 1987 series returned for a 25th anniversary crossover movie, Turtles Forever, in which they meet up with their counterparts from the 2003 TV series. Due to financial restrictions, none of the original voice actors were able to reprise their roles, and replacement actors were used. In April 2013, Zero Neely, the exclusive producer of the 2012 Turtles series, confirmed in an interview that the 1987 Turtles will cameo in a 1-hour special in Season 2. Cam Clark, Townsend Coleman, Barry Gordon, and Rob Paulson reprised their roles as Leonardo, Michelangelo, Donatello, and Raphael, respectively, in the closing episode Worm Creek. The 1987 Turtles also had a crossover with the 2012 Turtles in Season 4 episode Trans-Dimensional Turtles, in addition with lead cast members reprising their roles from the episode. Pat Fairley also reprised his role as Krang. The 1987 Turtles also returned during Season 5 of the 2012 series for a 3-part special. Wanted Bebop and Rocksteady along with the original Shredder Foot Clan's soldiers, Krang, and Technodrome. Both Gordon and Clark reprised their roles as Bebop and Rocksteady, while the Shredder voice by the 2012 incarnation's voice actor Kevin Mitchell Richardson due to James Avery passing in 2013. Through most of the series, the episode featured a recurring background music which reflected the mood of the situation, as well as another for settings such as the Technodrome, New York City sewers, Channel 6, etc. The soundtrack was composed by Dennis Callan Brown and Chuck Lorre. Lorre recorded the theme song and later became a successful television producer. The performance of the song was James Mandel, aka Miles Doppler. The show was in Saturday morning syndication from October 1st, 1988 to September 9th, 1989 and became an instant hit. The show was expanded to 5 days a week and aired weekday afternoons in sitcom in most markets from September 25th, 1989 to March 29th, 1991, with reruns running until September 1993. Starting on September 8th, 1990, the show began its secondary run on CBS Saturday morning lineups, beginning as a 60-minute block from 1990 to 1993, initially airing a couple of Saturday exclusive episodes back to back. There would also be a brief turtle tip segment in between the episodes, which served as a public service announcement about the environment or other issues. There were at least 20 turtle tips segments that were produced and aired. Beginning in 1994, the show began airing as a 30-minute block until the series ended. Although the last episode broadcast on CBS on November 2nd, 1996, reruns of Season 8, 9, and 10 continued to air until August 30th, 1997. That would be the last time the show would be run on television network in the United States for almost 26 years. Episodes from seasons 1 to 7 were run on USA Network's USA Cartoon Express from September 13th, 1993 to September 15th, 1996. Fred Wolf Films, owners of the rights to the show, have licensed the series to Longstate Home Entertainment, who have been responsible for the original DVD and retail streaming releases. On July 20th, 2023, at San Diego Comic-Con, it was announced that to coincide with the new release of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem, Nickelodeon had acquired the broadcast rights to the series from Fred Wolf Films. With the acquisition, the series would become available on Nickelodeon broadcast channels and other digital platforms later that month, starting with Nicktoons on July 31st, 2023. The series has seen numerous releases on VHS in Region 1 by Family Home Entertainment beginning in 1988 and continuing through 1996. Several tapes were released as part of marketing promotions with corporations such as Burger King and TV Teddy. UK videotapes were intentionally released using the censored Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles titles. 6 Laserdisc collections of selected episodes were released in North America in 1989. Releases continued through at least 1996. Starting in April 2004, DVD releases began in Region 1. The series has since seen numerous releases as part of DVD compilations. Lionsgate Home Entertainment has also released each of the seasons in a digital format, which are sold separately on several digital platforms such as Amazon and iTunes in standard definition only. Well, Once Upon a Time mechanic is introduced with Season 5, Planet of the Turtle, and is included with Season 6. Following Nickelodeon's acquisition of the distributing rights for the series, the series had begun slowly re-released under Nickelodeon branding, also in standard definition only, which was completed in February 2024. Excluding Ruta, the new digital releases has some slight changes over the old ones, to where the hair is also placed alongside Once Upon a Time Machine in Season 5, and Planet of the Turtle Droids is also restored to Adamantium season, as well as the episode. As of April 2024, iTunes released a complete series set with all 193 episodes. The first 2 seasons were made available for streaming September 19th, 2023 on Paramount, with some more being added slowly, with Season 3 now available. The first season was officially released free to watch on YouTube on July 30th, 2023. Some episodes from Season 2 were also released, well as a live broadcast feed of the entire series. IGN named Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles as the 55th best show on the top 100 best animated TV shows, while the story diverged heavy from the original concept of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, with the universe of original Marriage comics. The 1987 television series is largely the most notable and popular incarnation and drove the franchise to the phenomenal status it would achieve in popular culture. Co-creator Peter Lloyd has publicly shared his disdain with the show on numerous occasions, but also acknowledges that it was an extremely successful with and beloved by its audience, and while he would have preferred a different approach to the material, it might not have been as popular as it was preceded. Retroactively, the crossover film Turtles Forever established a common multiverse continuum between all the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles variants. At the time, the series was criticized by various groups for its violent content and commercialization. The extensive line of toys and other licensed products also attracted criticism. The Australian Council for Children's Films and Television accused the show of being a 30-minute toy commercial. So, that's it for this episode of Remember That Show. I really do hope you enjoyed, and if you happen to have any suggestions, let me know in the comments below. I would love to do them. So, I hope you enjoyed. Like, share, and subscribe. And as always, keep on collecting. Bye.